Good morning, good afternoon, good night, my dears. Welcome to the Worldwide Podcast Andorra edition. It's been a while we don't talk with you guys. I know lots of things in my life going on, lots of things in Guilherme's life going on. But before introducing our guest, I just want to ask, how's Guilherme? Updating our fans, bro, about your life, about what you're doing, where have you been? So go on, man.
Well, for sure, for sure. How is everybody going? Yeah, for me, it's been a crazy weeks, like this past month and a half, more so. It was after Chile, straight on just a diving trip around all of Colombia was absolutely everything that I ever wanted. My biggest love now is literally just diving, scuba diving. And then back to Portugal. And then, guys, I moved myself to Norway, which I would never say ever in my life, but I am starting my film degree, which I'm very happy about. I am actually enjoying the classes quite a lot. Unfortunately, my freelance job does take a lot of time, so it doesn't make me have that much time to write and all of that. But I will try to balance everything and see and organize myself. But yeah, it's been good, quite different, very mountainy, like Chile actually. But yeah,
The
I'm very excited,
temperature,
guy.
it's totally
Yeah,
crazy if you
absolutely
compare about here.
beautiful. What I'm not looking forward to is the winter, but I've got my PlayStation 4 here. I will put myself in the creative space. I will finish my
You got the
scripts
setup. You got the
so I
setup.
can then
Winter setup.
for sure put the mindset on. But yeah, we'll see how that will go, and we'll update you in further episodes as well.
Let's go.
And guys, I'm so excited about this episode because we're going into the Iberian Peninsula, actually, the first country there, Andorra, which many people don't even know what that is. Me being Portuguese, of
People don't
course, we
think
know
it's
about it
actually a country. There are a lot
as
of
well.
questions like, is it a country? Is it a city? What is that?
No, it's a country. Absolutely, it's a very small country, very teeny, but this is
It
a
has,
very this is a place that everybody need to discover once in life.
yes,
At least it's small. The population is approximately 75,000 people, something like that. But I'm surrounded of mountains, and
as well.
it's a very
Beautiful.
safe and very quiet place. There's a lot of people visiting the country, especially Spanish and French people, but also Chinese the last years and English
Okay.
people in winter for ski. So it's good.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. And yeah,
it's a good
and
place.
introducing our guest, also, we have José Pozo, a writer and director of cinema and animated films, which I'm very interested to talk about with the change from animated to live action. But yes, let's dive right into Andorra because we also had an episode on Liechtenstein, and it was
Yeah.
such a fascinating episode about
Yeah.
the country itself being independent, having so much money as well, and being really good in terms of its economy and socially with its own
Developed.
people. They are developed, having a lot of finance to start companies and to have all these really good stuff to the people. Um, and I want to know, like, how is Andorra in terms of like living there? You've been there for a while now, and in comparison to Spain as well, what makes it different?
Well, the difference basically is, of course, the size of the country, because you have the sensation that particularly each one in the streets.
Mm,
When you talk with the government, for example, asking for help, for subsidies, or
Sure,
for
sure.
something, it's very easy to speak with them. It's
mm-hmm.
and you can have a meeting in less than a week and ask them about whatever you need, or uh, or suggesting some things that you can improve for
Mm-hmm.
your work. In my case, for the film industry. But it's not the same in Spain. In Spain is all bureaucracy, and all is very
Yeah,
complicated as a big country it is. And you have a lot of people in between, so it's really
more
complicated.
more
But
competition.
yeah, this is in terms of film, but at the same time, you have the opposite, is that you don't have subsidies. You don't have the mandatory requirement for the broadcasters to invest in movies and or in TV series and TV shows. So the finance is maybe the bad thing. trying to
Mm.
from Andorra. It's very complicated. So you need to create a co-production, official co-production with France or with Spain, and try to raise all the money you need for your films outside the country. But in terms of living or safety place, very easy communication with the government, and I don't know. In my opinion, I really like to be in a quiet place surrounded by mountains. Maybe another will prefer the beach, as my wife. But I think it's a completely different country in a lot of things.
Yeah. But I really like about the having a bit more presence in terms of fulfillment, like making a change in the country. As you said, you can go very easily talk to the mayor, maybe, or like a representative of culture, and try to make something happen more easily there in Andorra than obviously in Catalonia or in Spain, anywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're completely open to new suggestions, ideas, and propositions. And for example, when I came here in the 2011, um, never, it's not a single film produced in the country
Wow.
completely. A service, yes. Some people come here and shoot some sequences in the
And go
mountains.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, in what way? But
Yeah.
I think I'm talking about to create, to develop, produce a film, an entire film, feature film, and I did this in 2016 with Nick, with my first film
Yeah.
in English. I shot a completely a film here, but now in the last 2 years, or sorry, the last year, sorry, in the last 2 years, we made 8 films, one documentary, and four short films also. So, and there's more people interested to try to create this film industry in Andorra. This is very complicated because because the finance situation of the because we don't have finance for the films. That's all. But it's a good option if you want to create something different because you have these locations, these beautiful locations, but at the end it's all practically all mountains with snow and. So when you create a story, maybe there's some influence, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to create something that fits in the country. In
Yeah.
Spain, France, or other countries, you have more options. You have beach, you have sun. You can go to the Canary Islands and have completely different locations
Environments. You
and
know.
yeah, absolutely different
Yeah.
environments. Here is the stories is completely capsulated in this environment that we have at this mountain, basically.
And with Nick, not only was it shot in Andorra, but it was also about Andorra. It was set in Andorra, and I think that's really cool. It puts Andorra on the map because again, many people not know about it, and
I
even a
hope, I
few,
don't know.
like
I
it.
received some emails from American people because the film was shot in English, and we sent the film to different festivals. We have a very good uh,
Feedback,
awards
yeah.
and something like that. Yeah, and we put the film in the platforms, Amazon, Hulu, this kind of platforms worldwide. And there are a lot of people from England and from the US asking us privately where is Andorra located.
Wow.
First that's important. And then
Yeah.
that everybody think, oh, this is very beautiful country. I didn't know that. And well, I think cinema in general, and it's a good opportunity for the government for just to show what do
Yeah,
we
just
have
spreading the
here
culture for
in the
Hmm.
sure.
mountains and
Yeah.
thinking in tourists, not only sports and skis good, but you can show the country with a film or with a TV show.
Yeah,
So
the
I
actual
think that
lifestyle of a place
yeah,
for sure.
we're working hard because we need to they need to understand that if they invest more money in the audiovisual industry in general, probably you have more opportunities to show your country worldwide. So I think that's for good.
Yeah, and again, I know a lot of people that talk about Spain, but obviously everybody's seen Rec, and a lot of people
Yeah,
actually go to Barcelona and
yeah,
Catalonia just for Rec.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
and it's basically a one-off location film. It doesn't even show that much, but it had so much influence. And again, it was this major film in Spanish that was like the biggest at the time, and everybody was like, "Oh wow, Spain actually is very interesting."
Produced
Now I want
really
to see
good
like the
movie.
location of the whole
Yeah,
place. Yeah,
absolutely.
It
yeah,
happens a
and
lot, like with more famous movies like Hobbit or Harry Potter, where people just travel all around the world to go to Hobbit Town there in New Zealand. So yeah, it's definitely a very good way for spreading the culture as a
yeah.
Yeah.
tourism talking about.
Or even bad, because I talk a lot about
Oh, talking about
like
Euro trip.
about
All right.
Eurotip and
Oh,
hostel
hostel. Yeah.
with
Oh, fuck.
Slovakia with so that can also happen, but uh but for sure I think it's such a good medium to show lifestyle, culture, and just the people themselves as well. um uh, Obviously there's more examples, but I do hope in the future we get to see a bit more of Andorra, especially the lifestyle. But now I'm interested, like, how was the production of Nick? Because you did have American actors, right? And how was to
Well,
bring.
we mix Spanish and American actors.
Mm.
Everybody speaking English, and also the main character is an Andorran guy that I discovered
Whoa.
here.
Oh
He's from
wow.
New
Oh,
Zealand.
cool. That's very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I try to find some people in England, but it's not easy because it's a very young people, very young actors, and at the end, it was a film with a very low budget,
Mm.
and we tried also in Spain. I I I think I thought that maybe we need to try in Andorra. Why not? And at the end, I find the perfect guy in Andorra. It is a guy. His father is from New Zealand, so he speak English with New Zealand accent, but I don't care about this. At the end, for me, it was an opportunity to make something good. I thought that maybe English could be better in my first film here. Just
Mm-hmm.
thinking that if I did this in Catalan, for example, it was really complicated. Uh, it has been very complicated to sell the film
Yeah.
in this
Yeah.
language, in the original language. And in Spanish, maybe it's not a good idea because we're in Andorra, and we in Andorra we speak Catalan mainly. And so I thought, okay, why not in English? Because there's a very big community, English community living here also. So stories happen, and I think it was a good idea to do this in English, and the film have a very good distribution worldwide.
Yeah.
Not big because it's a small film,
Of
but good
course.
enough.
No, 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 no. And would you now be interested in making something more about Andorra and like its lifestyle, but maybe perhaps like in Spanish, or with a story of like, I don't know, like an expat going there, but then be surrounded by just mainly Spanish or Catalan, of course.
We
Which,
did,
okay.
yeah. We did some films in Spanish. For example, we made a film in El Fet que Crema, The Burning Cold, completely in Catalan. And this is a story Second World War between France and Spain in the middle in the border. And we also made a film in Spanish with Elena Hernandez, a very well-known actor, Spanish actor here, completely shooted here. And so, yes, it's a language at the end is not the most important. Um, I think each story needs some specific language, and it depends. But if we need to speak just to shoot in Spanish, it's good. Also in Catalan and also in English. I don't care. In French, if needed, why not?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And
No, there's not a mandatory requirement in Andorra that if you shoot here, you have to shoot in Catalan. Uh,
yeah, no, no.
it's a good option if you want the small subsidies you have here because shooting Catalan is an extra point for you. But if
Hmm.
you it it depends. It depends on the story. I think
Yeah.
the most important is just to think what the story needs.
Oh,
If this is a Catalan, let's go.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If it is shot in Catalan, then the story has to follow up with that. Like the story has to feel like, okay, these are people from Catalonia. and
Yeah,
the story is within Catalonia, so you have to show like again like the culture and the lifestyle of these people that do speak Catalan. Instead of just doing a film in Catalan and then the story is like
Yeah,
Americanized,
it's
it wouldn't make
yeah.
sense.
In
Americanized.
It
fact,
would feel
in
odd.
fact, we're now in developing of a feature film that based in a rock band very famous in Catalonia is the is Sau and
What is the name?
uh,
Saul?
Sau, not
Saul.
Sau like the movie like the horror movie.
Mhm.
It's a
A
SABB.
L
Double
double.
No,
All
B.
right.
it's no,
All right.
it's SAU.
All right.
Just
Ah,
All
okay.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Sau.
All right.
Sau is a location in Barcelona, a small
Okay.
location in Barcelona. And it's a story about the 18 and 19s with a rock band. This era, this it was very good time. And we're preparing this, and this is a band that very famous in Catalonia, and
Hmm.
just singing in Catalan. So it's a mandatory requirement for us to do the film in Catalan. What's the problem? Well, the problem is that if you make a film in Catalan, if you want to make a good distribution in all the territory, for example, all Spain, it's a problem because the rest of the people don't speak Catalan. So we need to dub the film in Spanish. That's very usual. But the problem here is that we don't want to dub the songs because the original songs are in Catalan. It is
Oh, that's
absurd
very.
to dub
Now,
the songs in Spanish. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So at
Yeah,
the
I
end
yeah,
we
do. I
yeah,
have
do
a
know.
problem. So it will be I think a great film. But thinking in Spain,
Yeah, it's
maybe
going to
you
be
need to
challenging.
focus in the
Oh,
Catalan territories, not only Catalonia, also the Balearic Islands and Valencia community. They also speak Catalan. They also understand Catalan perfectly. So I think, but at the end, is a small portion of the country. But at the contrary, if you sell the film to a platform, it's not a problem. Today, you can watch a
sure.
film in Catalan, in Brazilian, in Portuguese, sorry, and whatever you want. It's not a
yeah,
problem. In Chinese, in Korean, you put the subtitles, and that's good. But even today, there's a lot of people that don't watch the films in with subtitles.
Subtitles. Yeah, they're in Spain. That's a factor there. Right?
They can't. It's,
Yeah.
it's a problem for them. I don't understand, but it's
Yeah.
a real
I think
problem.
less. I think less now, especially when,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. I
when,
think the platforms are helping us just
mm,
because at the end is a
Yeah.
culture, right? It's to understand that the original language is the most important. You need to keep
yeah,
that. And
and,
if you need to translate, okay, that's okay because we don't speak Korean or Chinese or whatever. But in with subs, it's perfect.
yeah. And do you know who we have to thank for that? Korea. My God, they blew
Yeah.
up international cinema so damn much. Of
Absolutely.
course, with Parasite is the biggest example, but everything. It's such a curious country, South
Also,
Korea,
the
how they
TV
just
Yeah.
shows, like the
boom.
TV shows are so famous nowadays,
Oh,
which
that's
is
it. This is
Yes.
crazy.
an incredible industry. The Korean people are amazing. I really like this a lot of films of them, and I think it's the platforms help a lot of
Mm,
It
this
does. It
because
does.
yes, because if you send a film to the theaters in Korea, I don't know, but maybe it's a problem, right? But in the platforms in the TV, that's everything works.
yeah.
So
Uh,
yes, if we need to make a film in Catalan, we'll do it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I was I was gonna ask you just that major problem that you had with Catalan and the rest of Spain. Is that a Spain problem? Because I know Spain and France they're
Yeah.
very like popular to dub everything. In Portugal we don't dub mostly anything. I grew up watching SpongeBob in English. I know iCarly was in Spanish since the beginning, since it started. Like these kid shows. And I wonder because if there was, well, there's not a second language in Portugal that's like quite different. But if there was, I don't think we'd have a problem putting a film on cinema with that language. And I know,
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
example, giving Korea as an example, I know those shows and those films also are distributed in Japan, and the people in
Yeah.
Japan watch them with subtitles like easily.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It,
and yeah, now we're even having theatrical releases in the US with also films in the original language of the countries.
Yeah,
So
but the people that is in charge of the cinemas, for example, in Andorra, they think that original language is not the best option. If not, if
mm,
just Spanish. The Spanish.
yeah,
We're in Andorra. We speak Catalan mainly, but also we speak, of course, we speak Spanish,
mm,
and probably there's a lot of people that speak also French because they learn the French, this
it's very
language in
near.
the
Yeah.
yeah,
yes, the school. And there's a big Portuguese community also. So we speak
really.
a lot of languages here in Andorra, but if you go to the cinema, it's very, very complicated to find a film in original version. For example, I want to see Alien Romulus because everybody's telling that it's very, very similar to the 19th version. So I think maybe it's a good opportunity to be in love again, to fall in love again with this saga. And
Yeah.
but it's in Spanish, and
Mm.
that's a problem. It's not the same. It's not the
So
same. When you watch a film in original versions and then suddenly you change to adapt version, it's another film. You know what I
Jose,
mean? It's completely
I
different.
have to ask you, I never had this problem in Latin America, but in
Yeah,
Spain, I always had that problem. And I don't understand because Spain is obviously the one who colonized all those countries. But then I also try to watch movies in Spain, like in the theater, and it was hard to get like an original, like without being dubbed. And
yeah.
that doesn't
You'll
make
find some
sense to
theaters
me.
that are just for original versions, especially in
Mm,
Barcelona and Madrid. But is
okay.
but this is not this is under normal. This is not normal. The normal
Yeah,
is
yeah.
to
It's the
find
minority. It's the minority.
Yes, yes,
Like
yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's like
and
very
French also.
specific.
French is more or less the same, right?
Yes, yes, France and Spain. But it was
Yes.
like, from my experience living abroad, even in Southeast Asia, all the movies were always in the original language, unless it was a very like local theater kind of thing. But still, I've never really experienced, and I watch a lot of films even around countries in Latin America, that there was not an original language release. There were
Yeah.
sometimes the dubbing, which would be a bit sooner than the one in the original language, but I never experienced not having the option for the original language.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the point I wanted to come up right here in Brazil, because right here in Brazil we actually have the option of watching the movies in the original way or dubbed. So when you go to the movies right here, you have near to my place here we have one of the biggest cinemas here in Rio de Janeiro. So we got 18 rooms to watch movies. So it's very split, like eight rooms just broadcasting the movie as original, and then you have 8 rooms doubly the same movie. So
Yeah.
actually, we have like this, you
the
know,
options, yeah.
the
Yeah.
options
That
of watching original or not, like just for kids, because it's very hard for kids, to watch the movie. But
absolutely.
when the movie is like the average of the movie, it's like 14 above. Like you always have the two options of watching is original or watching dubbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Spain, there are a very very good actors for dubbing, incredible actors for dubbing. But at the end, for sure, I really prefer the original version.
Yeah, I do like dubbed when it comes with animation. Like animations,
Maybe
it's
in
pretty
animation
cool.
it's
Like
completely
yeah,
different because at the
yeah,
end, well, in animation, also in animation because the intention of the main actors is incredible,
yeah.
and
I feel you.
all the animators work with the director's notes, but at the same time, the best note for an animator is the voice that you have, the storyboard and
Sure,
the voice. That's everything.
sure,
Everything is
sure.
there. So at the end, the Spanish actor that put his voice in for a character, for animation character, is trying to copy the original, right? But this
Mm.
is a copy. This is a copy, and it's
Yeah,
not exactly the same. But okay, I think maybe animation for kids
it can
because
works
maybe
better. Yeah,
small kids are not ready for watch and read at the same time.
yeah.
But it's a good exercise for do this, right? But
It is.
maybe yes, animation should be maybe an exception sometimes.
Sure,
The
sure.
rule, yeah.
And there
And now,
are the things that sometimes in animations, like the original movie is not too good, and then when you dubbed, you make it the movie better. Like sometimes it happens right here in Brazil. Like there is a movie called in English White Chicks, and in Brazil we changed the name of the movies, of course. It's As Branquelas, which is like the whiters
Okay.
or kind of stuff. Like this movie in the States, it's not well known. Like nobody knows this movie. But here in Brazil, the dub was so good that everybody, like from my age, like with 30 years
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
28, like everybody knows the lines of the movie. And
Also
then,
mine, 28.
yeah, which
28.
is really good.
yeah,
Yeah,
It happens a lot.
absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I have a past as an animation, not only as director and producer and writer also for my films. I was an animator in the past. I I
Oh,
I, I draw the 2D animations for the TV shows and also some feature films. And when we receive all the occasions, always is in English, even if it's an Spanish production. You start with English. So the main dub is English, not Spanish.
okay.
And this is also important because when you send some portions of the animation to other countries, to other people, other studios outside, they need to understand the language. So English is perfect for share a film. For example, in the US, maybe Pixar, Warner, this kind of studios, well, Warner disappear, but Pixar, Disney, etc., have a very big studios. All the film is made it there inside. But when you produce a feature film in Europe, it's very usual that to share the film to
yeah,
different studios worldwide. I remember that, for example, in El Cid the Legend, my first feature film, 2D feature film, with some 3D and some battle scenes, but mainly 2D. We share in 21 countries, different countries. So it's very complicated because you are directing a film, you are sending the storyboard to people that you don't know,
Yeah, I
because
can
you
imagine.
know this studio is working for us,
Yeah,
but maybe I have some communication with the animation director in the studio, but you don't know the rest of the people that is working for you, not for you, for your film in there. So it's very complicated to direct something when you don't have the actor, right? Because you have the actors, maybe there are some directors that they don't say anything to these actors. Okay, this is an option, and they are working in the monitor. You know what I mean? But I really like the idea and the option to talk and to share and to discuss with the actors
sure.
about the
It's always
sequence.
better.
yeah.
But you
It's
can't
always.
do this when the animator is,
Is
I don't know,
everywhere in the
I got
world
in
you.
just with video
Yeah,
Germany.
it's
calls,
spread
but
worldwide.
it
It's
is,
Yeah.
really
yes.
complicated. Also,
Espe-
when you receive the animation, the rough animation, that's exactly like like mm, the first step of the process, right? So you have
Mhm.
the storyboarding movement in rough animation without the in between drawings. Uh, if you want some correction, sometimes it's not a good idea because you don't have enough time, or the studio will ask for more money. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so at the end, it's not only what you want and what you have in mind, it's what the animator give to you, and you need to live with this.
yeah,
That's one of the reasons that I really prefer to work in fiction because I feel that is you can do better your job as director. And in animation is at the end is there are 100 people working on there.
yeah.
So
It's hard to share a vision when,
absolutely,
especially, you're in a place and the other person is still in the same continent, Europe. It's quite easy to travel, but still, it's hard
even
to
if you're
communicate because,
located,
yeah, it's not face to face. And then
yeah,
again, a
it's not face
film
to face.
is also so personal. I'm a massive horror fan. So normally the directors are also the writers because they write about very personal and experimental things or experiences
Yeah,
that happen to them. So it's quite hard for someone else to grab that script,
yeah,
understand the theme, the feel, the tone, everything that the the
Absolutely.
That the
the
writer
writer wanted
wanted
to
to
put on
pass.
screen and then put it. Um, so that's
If
also
we
what,
if
yeah,
we read the script, if someone sent us to all of us one script, if we read the script, probably we we think completely different
Sure.
about, you know what I mean? So it's very
for sure.
complicated. Even if you're located in the same studio, one animator could spend maybe 2, 3 days for a few seconds of animation. So it's a lot of work for him or her, and it's complicated to ask for a lot of changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
know, I know that.
It's not every actor that are open for hearing. Yeah, no, you're not doing right.
Yeah,
Like I
but
didn't want to pass this. It's kind of
when you're
complicated for
shooting in,
yourself also to like I don't
absolutely.
want I want to break this barrier between the actor and myself. Kind of, I
When you're
understand you.
shooting with actors, if you agree with the first uh, it's okay, it's perfect, but you have the option to do different
Sure.
and to make some options, and then you can choose what is better for you in the editing process. Well, it's
yeah.
completely, it's almost the same because at the end you're telling a story and you need to have a good script, and it's all it's all about emotional things and how you share and you transmit this to the audience. But at the same time, it's a very completely very different process.
And I really want to know because you obviously started in animation as you told us. Did your studies were
No, no, no,
VFX
not at all.
drawing?
No.
What was it?
I studied cinematography and in Madrid, and
Mm,
I in the gym. I found a guy that I don't know. He started talking to me that he was a designer, character designer, animator. I thought, okay, so sounds interesting. I'm trying to make some feature films. I'm writing some scripts. In that time, I was a director of documentary for
mm,
falcons and animals in general. And we become friends, and then we start to maybe we can create a pilot. I could write, and you're a good designer, also animators.
mm,
You can make the 2D job. And I found this amazing. It was amazing to see him creating the character, all the turnaround, all the animation, the rough animation. But he was also he had the capacity to create not only this, also the backgrounds, the color. It's I was really impressed with this, and I thought, okay, maybe it's a good option when if you are able to do this, all this, you can create an entire universe. So you maybe you can develop a project and then try to finance this project, right? And we did this pilot, and then we start to work together. We create a studio. I start to draw because I'm not a very good in this, but good enough. So
mm,
I started in the between, making these drops in the between, then assisting, creating the perfect line,
mm,
improving year by year, and finally I start to animate, and I became animation director. And he left the studio. I still there, and I have to put all my effort to keep the studio working. And then I improve a lot, of course. That was a very good opportunity to learn and also to understand how the animation process works and to create
mm.
El Cid the Legend. And then Filmax produced my first film. That was in the 2003, so a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
years ago, 21
Long
years
time
ago.
ago.
It was El Cid, right? The
El Cid
Legend.
the Legend.
Yeah.
The legend. And yes, so I directed two films, El Cid the Legend and Don Quixote. Don Quixote was in 2007, was the last one. And I produced it as executive creative. So basically, I was in charge of all the design process, the talking with the directors, and was involved with also in the scripts, doing the script development and finding the good partners. Good partners, I'm talking about not only finance partners, also good studios that could help in the production. As I told you, always need people or companies that could help us in different process of the parts of the animation process. and it was a very good time. But at the end, when I directed Don Quixote, I worked with the script of another guy, and it's not. It was very good script, but it's an idea completely different that I have in mind. So at the end, I decided not anymore. I'll do this. It's really important that you spend your time doing something that you believe,
Yeah.
and it's not only about money and not only about, okay,
Sure.
I'm working in the industry. That's good, but it is, for me, in my opinion, it's really important to take a look back and see your films and be proud of your work in
Of
general.
course. Is it
For sure.
the CGI Don Quixote? Like this one that you're
Absolutely,
talking?
absolutely. It was
Oh, that
one of
was
the
actually very famous right here in Brazil, like during the times that it came here,
yeah.
and it
It
was
was
dubbed here.
very. We have very success in some countries. I'm not really sure in Brazil, but in Mexico was a very good
All right.
success. But yeah, it's good. It was a good film.
And the
But I
history
think
is very good. Like Don Quixote's story, like the
yeah,
background of
the classical
like the
story of
story
Don
is very good.
Quixote. Yeah, absolutely. And but trying to create something good for everybody. That's maybe the problem. Would you want to create a film that
Yeah,
like to the adults and at the same time for the kids? It's not easy. It's not easy because it's all on the script, and um, and sometimes, for example, in the Cid
yeah.
is a very adult story, but at the end you have some characters, the animals, the budget, and the horse that are talking all time. At the end, is this is the um, the hook for the kids, right? But
Sure.
Mm.
at the end, it's like a strange mix. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's
It's
very
not
challenging.
Yeah,
actually,
Very challenging.
it's
yeah, it's not for child, it's not for adult people. So at the end, it's just in the middle, and
uh,
it's just
yeah,
complicated.
I was gonna give you like my best example because I can only imagine how hard it can be to have your target audience in an animated film be both kids and adults. But there's
Yeah,
one, The Adventures of Tintin. That
Yeah,
was
amazing,
phenomenal, and it
amazing movie.
targeted
absolutely.
both audiences so well.
Yeah,
It still had like the guns and the violence, but at the same time, it had the heart, and kids could still watch it and feel it, and it was CGI. And I remember seeing the film and I was so impressed by one, the visuals, and also the story wise, how it was still going hard for kids, but at the same time, it was still manageable for them to consume it, and obviously entertaining for adults.
absolutely,
But
absolutely. This is a good
yeah,
example.
yeah, I was um I was wanting to ask about also going back a little bit to Andorra. And but by the way, I loved your statement about the fulfillment in films. That was also
Sure.
something that Damien was talking about when he made a film about Argentina. He wanted just to be fulfilled with putting something out there that he can look back and he was like, "Oh, I made this film for myself," and it ended up being popular. He made the film and he didn't know he was going to be massive in the U.S. But yeah, it's so important for us creators to be proud of something, not just for the money, because we
No,
obviously see so many cash grabs, but you know what happens to those cash grabs? They end up being forgotten. And then
yeah,
we have films like so many good examples that we just take a look back and people still remember them and people still talk about them. And even films about certain countries, I mean,
People know the
Suspiria
lines
from
of the
Italy,
movies. They're
whatever it is,
forever.
yes. So
yeah.
it's
At the
so
end, making
important to have that
movies,
passion. Yeah,
if you make a movie, you're creating art. And
yeah.
Sure.
money, it's not only about money. It's about it's important. Don't think about the money, but don't think about to win festivals. Don't think about to
Mm,
have a good distribution. Just think to create an original story as far as you can and create something good that you like it, and would you check your past, that you're proud of this, and try to improve and learn every day. That's what I'm trying to do at my today. I'm 57 years old and I have a lot of things to learn, but at the same time, I have some experience I can use in my films, right? So,
mm-hmm,
what I, for example, in the last 2 months ago, I made a film from Andorra. We start to shooting from Andorra. France, England, Scotland, and we finished in the Isle of Skye. The film is titled
Okay.
Skye, like the island, and we spent 34 days shooting. Me, my wife, and
Oh,
my wife is an actress, is also director, but especially is an
oh, I
actress.
didn't
Oh,
know. That's
nice.
very
My
That's
good, man.
my
that's
small
like
daughter,
yeah, that's
my
like Mike
daughter,
Flanagan and Kate Siegel. They're like my
yeah,
favorite couple. And
my baby, it's now it's 14 months, but I'm talking about 11 months. And with a motorhome driving from Andorra to Scotland, I create a script that starts in
Ah,
and finishes in the Isle of Skye, and it is a story of Isolde. Isolde is her head character that asked her best friend the motorhome just to travel, to spend some holidays, something like that, because she need to clear her mind, whatever. But at the end, his real intentions is go to Scotland and try to find his ex-boyfriend, his ex-partner, and um, and this is an adventure that I create, and I decide to make the film completely alone. Completely alone is with no crew. The crew is just me with the camera, with the sound, with with everything, with the production, the focus, whatever you want. Also,
that's
I'm
crazy.
yeah, it was a very crazy adventure because it was all or nothing. It's
Yeah.
we
sure.
need to create something completely different because when you start to creating a film, a feature film, we made films, small films, but also big films, and we sell, for example, the rights of one of our films to Lionsgate for a remake last year. So, but I I thought I need that's the word. I need to make this adventure just myself and just
Hmm.
for me, because at the end we need to feel the freedom, the real freedom where you're shooting. When you're shooting something short, like I don't know, with your friends or with your girl,
That's
or
different.
for you shooting nature, it's completely freedom. You need
Yeah.
to take a look to the weather, maybe
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
but at the end, this is magic. This is a magical moment. So, and it was really hard because the kid, especially because that's the most important. When you're traveling with a kid, the kid is the most important, and but also because sometimes you need some people, no? Okay, for the sound or maybe
Of
move the
course.
light.
Lighting.
You need to go outside to the motorhome, move the light again, start, put the
Yeah.
camera. Okay, I need to go down again. So at the end, it was really hard, and you have the perfect light that is trespassing your window, but the kid is not in this moment for her. You know what I mean? So and but it was at the end, it was a very good experience. The only thing that I needed is good actors, and so I started talking conversations with Alberto Aman. Alberto Aman is the main role in the male main role, and I told him, okay, I have this crazy idea in mind. I don't have money, so I can offer you a lot, but I can offer you a completely different experience in shooting.
Mm.
And he say yes. So we started to work creating with Alberto, Elizabeth, then Elizabeth Larena, a beautiful, magnificent actress from Madrid, and Tom Mitchell from London. We go to Amiens in the Le Maison de Jules Verne. We shoot there. We shoot in the Eurotunnel. We shoot in incredible locations with all this freedom. So I don't know because I need to edit the film in September. We need to wait,
All
Mm.
right.
but it was a very good experience. Maybe just for one time in your life, but it's something good. At the end,
Sure.
it's the resume of what we're talking about. It's okay. You need
Fuel your
to
creative
understand
drive
that cinema
for
is
sure.
something creative, it's art,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe it's not the best film, okay, but maybe not, but it's also important to experiment, to have different experiences, and this for me was really incredible.
And it's already
For sure.
working because I'm looking forward to watch this movie now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have to wait maybe, but
No worries.
Yeah, I expect to finish in November in
Okay.
Barcelona. In post-production, we put some people in post-production in audio, in the mixing. The audio is important, and also for the music. But I finished the film with editing. I usually edit my own films, so I think it's the second chance that you have for a good direction. So all the mistakes that you made in the shooting, you can try to correct to solve them in the editing.
Edition.
So
Mhm.
I think it's a good idea to understand this process and to do it. And in my case,
Yeah,
I actually prefer to do it for myself.
for sure. And just complimenting on the editing, it's a second way of storytelling. It's
Absolutely,
literally like it's
absolutely,
narrative structure. It's grabbing every
absolutely.
shoot that you did. Of course, you did your own shooting, so you know what it is. But still, it's still pieces. How do
Yeah,
you fit these pieces? The structure of it,
Yeah.
everything. That's another
yeah.
way of putting the story to life.
Yeah,
Really.
and the second direction is decisions that a director should take. So I think it's good if you have an editor at your side. Why not?
Mm.
Absolutely yes. But at the end, you need to be there. It should, because it seems it's really important just to deciding which frame you will stop. It should and change completely different. Not only the rhythm of the story, also there are a lot of details that maybe an editor is not compromised with the footage. And okay, I think this is not necessary. Okay, maybe not, but let me explain you why I think it's
Mm.
good to keep this completely, no? And
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my style. Maybe I don't know. There's a lot of people that try to direct and edit it film. In the US, as you know, maybe the producers have the last word in terms of the editing, but in Europe,
Mm.
maybe sometimes is in my case it's more easy
A
for
bit
me.
more creative freedom.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
have the freedom.
there's so many examples of films where the producers completely added something, which the director's like, this is going to ruin
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
That's why I've got director's cuts. Even in horror, so many
Absolutely.
director's cuts that change the whole
Well,
film and the whole feel,
if you
tone as
sign a
well.
contract, no, right? You sign a contract, you have this clause, so okay, you are not the last opinion, right? You don't have the last opinion of the
Yeah,
editing. No?
yeah.
This is a real problem for me. But okay, if this is a good option, for example, if this is Alien 9 or something like that, I'll sign. It's not a problem.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And again with your new project from this summer, it's like not just giving examples of films that obviously had a low budget and just turned out to be amazing, but even like games. There's games with where the graphics are not even
Yeah.
good at all, but because there's a good
Storytelling is
story,
amazing. Yeah.
heart, everything, the game just is beautifully made and just amazing.
Yeah,
And it goes the same with cinema. Of course, the most famous examples I can give is the Blair Witch Project, but there's also so many other good examples of like films that were just something that people really wanted to do, and then they just were like, okay, we don't have much, but let's just try it out. Let's put our passion and everything onto this
absolutely.
project.
Passion is really important. I was really inspired by Nomadland, not about
Mm,
the story, but
No.
about because I really like Chloe Zhao's previous films, especially The Rider. I think is
yeah.
incredible. But also Nomadland is good. In fact, she won the Oscar, right? But this film was made by 8 people on set, just eight
So
people.
little.
So
So
Yeah.
little,
they
man.
have all the freedom with the actress, and I think this inspired to me. So I think maybe eight with the motorhome from Andorra to Scotland maybe is too much, but okay, all my
Let's give it a try.
just me, and this is more easy. And at the end, if the film is not good, I take the film and I put it in the pocket or in the closet, I don't know, and that's all. But I
It's an
think it's
experience. You just learn as well.
exactly, absolutely,
You
absolutely.
learn.
It's at the end, this kind of films of character-driven narratives. This is good. This is really important, no? With an atmosphere, the exploration of isolation, and outer filmmaking. So it at the end is this kind of things you find usually in the small stories. You know
Mm.
what I mean? and in the small films you can find all of this. Um, and big films also sometimes there's big a lot of big films, especially in the past, that have all these good options. But I think in the small films you have more chances
Yeah,
to make something particular and special.
for
Amazing.
sure. And I remember once because you also told us that you were trying to remake something and well pitch it to be remade. There's these really cool project that a few friends decided to do, which was with GoPros and cameras because they had
Yeah,
a very big passion of haunted houses in the United States, like the culture.
yeah.
They made this little like short film with their own experiences and reviewing these haunted houses. And then they made a film out of it and they pitched it to be remade and better produced. And actually, someone bought the property and worked with them still being the directors and the actors, and made like an actual new film of the same product but with just better production. And it ended up being absolutely amazing and still has that same vibe and
Yeah.
feel, and also concept, which was these friends go on a caravan across the United States, all the states, just to go on all the 100 houses and experience each one, review each one. Then obviously it's a horror film, so something happens weird, and then that's it. So it's amazing how that can happen. Like you just of course it requires so much courage, so much passion, so much everything, but having these little like short film or a little creepy pasta, whatever it is, and then pitching it to hopefully like a good stakeholder or a good production house, and they're like, okay, let's try to get this done, and boom.
Not sure if you know, but I just made one short film, my life, my career. It was in 2022. It's a Plastic Killer. You don't know about this. This is a short film. This is a very, very unique story about a woman who lives in Madrid with a plastic bag and with the only company of a plastic bag, and the woman consider the plastic bag her daughter,
Okay.
Hmm.
and he speak with her, and this is a very absurd black humor. This is a comedy, but we achieved the top 15 in the last Oscars in
Oh,
2023.
wow,
Yeah,
Jose.
with
Wow.
short film.
Cool.
Yeah, at the end we're not nominated, but we needed this last step. But it was good to see that if you bid for a very very original story and something unique in not only in the concept, also visually, and we put a lot of money and effort in this short film, and you can achieve something unimaginable, like it's
It
maybe
is possible,
be
yeah.
very near of the Oscars, and with a short film. So it's
Yeah,
completely unexpected to me. And but I think this is good. This is a good advice. Is that maybe try to be completely different is good, but also try to find stories that could interest the rest of the audience. And in this case, the fight against plastic, it's something that is the interest of all the humanity, I think,
Sure.
right? So
wow.
it was a very good combination. And in fact, I developed the treatment for a feature film, but the main actress, dies last year. So I think
Wow.
maybe it's the good moment for this. I'm not. It's okay. I need to put this project and stop until maybe who knows in the
Yeah,
future.
some time
But
passed.
It's a pity.
it was a very good experience. Completely freedom, absolutely free for do whatever I want in this short. So I think
Mm.
it's good also.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Jose, we're coming to an end. This was so good. So
Very good.
good.
Very
For
fulfilling.
me as a cinema lover, but also of course like culture and
Yeah.
everything, and to our viewers
It's
as well.
complicated to me to explain myself good in English. I can do
No,
better.
come
No,
on.
it
You
was
explained this
absolutely
I
perfectly.
Spanish
great.
Amazing.
in
I feel
Spanish,
like
but
if we talk about something we're quite passionate and we really love, it doesn't matter the language.
Doesn't matter
We
the
still can
absolutely.
language.
communicate it
Yeah.
somehow.
I'm
Even
agree
in
with you.
Italian, you probably could.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
but we
being
still
in
have one
here.
one last question.
Yeah,
One
we
last
still have one
question.
last
Absolutely.
question. Like
We
Absolutely.
we
end
have
this.
to adapt. We have to adapt.
Yeah,
We like
I
all
will,
right.
for sure, for sure, for sure. Uh, because that we always end with let's call it like an open-ended question. And even though you weren't born in Andorra, you still share the language. It's, I would say, still quite similar between Catalonia and Andorra. You
Yeah,
guys share
12
so
years
much,
living there so far,
and
so you
12
feel
years.
like you're a citizen
Yeah,
of Andorra.
I want to know what makes you proud about having moved to Andorra, being there, raising a family there, having your animals there. I know I have quite a lot, and that's amazing. I'm a dog
Surrounded
lover
by
myself as well.
mountains.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What makes you proud about being there and have been
What
living there
I
for so
make
much?
me proud to be here in Andorra and fight for the cinema. It's fight for a cinema
Oh,
that doesn't exist here in the country. Um, and it's not only about us, about our company. It's there's a lot, not a lot, but for example, we create the Andorran Film Academy, right?
Hmm.
So in the beginning, I thought, okay, maybe it's just four, five, six people, but that's not true. We started with 45 people, and these people is want to live here and also have the opportunity to make their dreams come true, like for example, cinema or whatever. And I think it's good to push the cinema, to push the government. The government create the cinema subsidies 5 years ago because we pushed them to create this. And also, we made a lot of official co-productions between Spain and Andorra. Also, France is a very good country. It's a friendly country. Is in the
Hmm.
other part of the border, and we need to grow and to create something new in Andorra, not in the world, but new in Andorra.
sure.
So I'm proud of this. I'm proud to be a part, an important part, not the only one, but the important part, pushing the Andorran cinema and creating things. We have a film in Netflix worldwide. We have a film in Amazon distributed by Universal and other films. So we're creating something good. Some films are smaller, it's not a problem. Some things are is have more financing and could be bigger. And I have a lot of ideas, and I have a project, a personal project in the US, based located in Texas and Montana. I wrote
Right.
this film in 2020, and but at the end it will be also an Andorran co-production. I don't
Sure.
care
Yeah,
that they shoot in we'll shoot in the US. It's good. We shoot in English, perfect. But this is Andorran co-production for sure. So I think I'm proud of this, and also my wife is my partner. He's helping me a lot on this, and we are working hard, and we have a lot of friends here that want to push with us, and
yeah,
at the end, it's a collective. There's a lot
for
of
sure.
people pushing for the cinema in Andorra. I think
Yeah.
it's good.
Smaller place, also more help. We didn't
What a
need so many
beautiful
Yeah,
people and
statement. What
locals
a
and
beautiful
everything.
statement. Fighting for the
Yeah,
culture right there.
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Probably for me,
Amazing.
it's more easy to do this from Spain because there's a lot of finance there. If
Sure.
I create again a company, a production company in Barcelona, I can take or fight for the regional subsidies, the national subsidies, the platforms that operate in Spain, also the TV broadcasters, also the people that can put some product placement in your films and put some money, and at the end you have a lot of opportunities. But here is just the small cinema subsidy. That's all. There's nothing
yeah.
else. With the TV is not you don't have the mandatory requirement to put money. Also, the platform that operates the phones in Andorra. So there's a lot of things that to do, and
Still challenges,
we
yeah,
need some time. I'm trying to achieve all of this in next
for
years
sure. I will
possible.
pray, Jose. I'll pray that an a prince from Dubai just arrives in Andorra, falls in love,
Okay, that's good.
and
That's good.
decides to be the main stakeholder
And put
of the
some
culture
oil
of cinema
money
there.
on the Andorra
So
movie
oil money
industry.
there. That would be
Okay,
good.
guys,
Amazing.
a real pleasure.
For sure, for sure. Likewise.
Amazing.
And to our listeners, Thank you so much for reaching the end of the episode. Feel free to give us a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Podcast WWP. Send us an email as well. And I'll see you guys in our next episode.
See you guys, and don't
Goodbye.
forget to give us 5 stars on Spotify reviews because it's very important for us to break the algorithm, which is against us. So please, 5 stars right there. Thank you.
Yes. And goodbye.
Bye bye.